JK Chapter 258 is here, and after that cliffhanger 257, we are back to this epic fight. After Yuji landed that epic combination of Black Flash attack to Sukuna. It says that in Gojo's battle with Sukuna, he was able to create a unique RCT while in a awakened state. Because of the 2 Black Flash that he landed to Sukuna, he was able to do this by distributing the functions to the undamaged part of his brain. That's why he was able to use RCT again, and the same can be said for the King of Curses Sukuna, because he has landed 2 Black Flash to both Maki and Laru, giving him the same situation to Gojo, that could enable him to heal all of the damaged parts of his body, including his severed hands, but this never happened. That's because of that 7 Black Flash that Yuji landed to Sukuna, specifically targeting the boundary between Sukuna and Megumi's soul, that made Sukuna's control over Megumi's body weaker, missing the chance for Sukuna to recover the RCT output he needed to heal all of his injuries. Man, so even with all of Yuji's rage he was still able to control himself just to hit the boundaries of Sukuna and Megumi's soul. Our boy has really grown up, not letting all the anger inside of him to distract him from his goal of saving Megumi. In a different location, Miguel compliments Laru that he did well, but Laru simply answers that heaven is close, as Miguel worries for the condition of his friend. But the next panel just shocks the hell out, as it turns out that Sukuna has unleashed his domain expansion Malevolent Shrine, engulfing the entire battlefield. Man, so even with all the damages that Sukuna has taken, he is able to use his domain expansion, but the question is how, because with only one working hand, Sukuna can't perform the hand signs needed to activate his domain expansion. It says that the king's domain has returned to its master, as it appears with a shower of black sparks, as Sukuna stands on 2 hands up on the air, like a king looking over his dominion. But this Malevolent Shrine is quite different from the one that we used to see, as instead of a glorious temple shrine, it looks disturbed and a mess, with hands, big eyes, and mouth sticking everywhere. Oh boy, Sukuna has pulled out an insane trick with this one. As the Malevolent Shrine swallows everything, changing the entire look of the battlefield. It says that Sukuna is again able to use his domain expansion, by changing it from hand signs to palm signs, and by utilizing the part of his brain that was unaffected by the unlimited void. Sukuna basically modified the conditions for the activation of his domain expansion. It says that even after getting hit by a combination of Black Flash, Sukuna is still able to activate his domain expansion, without a decrease of effect and range from the original one, by adding new elements and a binding vow. So this is basically the same domain expansion from the original, just with a different look and conditions for activation. Man, Sukuna is a genius, always pulling something in times of dangerous situation. In a flashback, Hikari says that they'll need an RCT or a countermeasure to defend against domain expansion like Sukuna's. Choso answers that he and Yuji can use RCT, while Maki simply answers that she's out cause she does not have a curse energy. Choso asks Hikari on when using RCT to create flesh to heal his injuries, how does he compensate for the blood loss? Hikari answers that he does not know since he does it automatically. Yuta also answers that he does it by instinct, but Shoko answers that you convert curse energy to create blood, so when a sorcerer uses RCT it only heals the flesh part of the injury, and converts the user's curse energy to blood to prevent blood loss. That's why performing an RCT requires a large curse energy. Shoko adds that it's the reason why many can use RCT on themselves but can't heal others. It's because of the difference in application, because the receiver rejects the healer's curse energy. The other is that the curse energy failed to respond to the conversion. Choso says that it's correct, but since his body and Yuji's can convert their curse energy to blood, making it easier for them to perform RCT without having to use a large amount of curse energy. That's why Choso wants to also have someone that can use RCT for a replacement training for Yuji. In a room, Oyoi explains that his CT is called spatial transference, meaning that if you're with him he can teleport you to the people or places that he has marked, just like Minato in Naruto. He can teleport himself and others to places and people that he has marked, but the difference is that Oyoi can not only teleport a person but also its soul to another body. It's like having a box with something inside. He can teleport what's inside of it to another box without opening the box. But Yuji questions that he fought a cursed spirit Mahito who has the ability to change his soul. Like if Mahito changes the right arm of his soul into a sword, it will also change his body's right arm to a sword matching that of his soul. That's why he can change his body or the parts into various things, mostly weapons. Yuji asks that if you transport one's soul to the other body, won't it change that body? It's like if you swap Yuji and Yuta's soul. Putting Yuji's soul to Yuta's body will change to mirror the soul that's inside of the body, meaning that Yuta's body will change to look more like Yuji because of Yuji's soul inside of Yuta's body. But Oyoi answers that since he can change the contents of the box without opening it, if you don't open it you won't know the contents inside have changed, meaning that unless you want to know which body you're on, then the body won't change. Kusakabe explains that an athlete repeats the same motion over and over again, till their bodies remembers. It's the same with when Sukuna possessed Yuji's body, since he performed curse techniques like Cleave, the Malevolent Shrine, and even his Fire Curse technique. Yuji's body can quickly learn these things. Kusakabe adds that they're going to do the same. He's going to possess Yuji's body so that his body can learn his CT manipulation, his barrier techniques, and even his simple domain, which is an effective defense against Sukuna's domain expansion. But Hikari questions that there's a binding vow that prevents it from being taught to others, but Mei answers that there's no problem since she already handled it. Oyoi explains that he can only switch souls twice every month, since Arhiris only had a month to prepare for their fight against Sukuna, and with Kusakabe taking one of the spots to train Yuji's body, meaning that there's just another one who trained Yuji's body. Man, things are getting more interesting in JJK. It could be Gojo, but since the Six Eyes and Limitless are only hereditary within the Gojo clan, it's impossible for Yuji to learn these things, but it is possible for Yuji to learn Hideruma's Executioner's Sword. Man, it's gonna be crazy mad. Back to the fight now that Sukuna has activated his domain expansion, tearing everything around with his slashing attacks. Our boy also activates his new shadow-style simple domain that he learned from Kusakabe. Man, our boy is stacking up his techniques from blood manipulation, to the shrine and now simple domain. But let's not forget, because Yuji has a fragment of Sukuna's soul, not only that he is shown to use a version of Sukuna's shrine, it's entirely possible that he can also use a version of Sukuna's Malevolent Shrine and even his Divine Fire technique. Man, if this happens, our boy here is gonna be a powerhouse. As the slashing storm rages on, Yuji stands withstanding the onslaught of Sukuna's attack. He looks up and notices that this version of Sukuna's domain is incomplete, making it impossible for Sukuna to maintain this high level of domain expansion. It says that even at his current state, Sukuna is not lowering the effects of his domain by not using a barrier to divide the effects inside the barrier and of the outside world. Man, Sukuna is giving it his all. The dude is not giving an inch. I think this is Sukuna serious mode. As Yuji withstands the fury of attacks, he counts 99 seconds. 99 seconds that he needs to withstand this storm. After this, the Malevolent Shrine will crumble. Not only Yuji but Choso and Maki needs to survive this attack. But I guess Sukuna is focusing all of the attacks towards Yuji. As an innumerable number of slashing attacks hits Yuji's simple domain, it starts to crack, slicing up our boy, cutting off his left leg. As the storm stops, our hard-headed boy simply stands up, and with scars on his face, successfully withstood Sukuna's domain. Man, Yuji is a fortress. The guy just tanked the fury of Sukuna like nothing has happened. But as we think that our heroes are safe, we're wrong, as our heroes just got out of the frying pan and into the fire itself, as Sukuna pulls another surprise, activating his divine flame. Man, he's about to cook our heroes alive. What an epic chapter this is. That's up, guys. I think I just lost a million brain cells trying to explain this chapter. For more JJK updates, hit like, share, follow, and subscribe. Thank you, winky face.